Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series videos I do for the lot. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that the time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, I'm still excited about this. This will be review number 3 from this particular location. I'm still excited. Are you still excited? I hope so. But anyway, it's super simple format, folks. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm inside the truck. Whilst I'm inside the truck, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirts. Super cool shirt am I wearing today? This is the last review I'm doing, I swear. Boom! There's my Dosu Kinata shirt. Look at me, I'm a mummy. No, Dosu Kinata, he's a character from the anime Naruto. He's a weird oddball character who, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't do much in the show. But I don't care. I love him. He's my favorite character. When I was actively following the show and when I was still a big fan of it before it completely fucking derailed itself many times over, I kept hoping he'd come back, man. I used to be on Naruto forums. Yeah, I was that nerd. And, man, I used to argue with people all the time. Be like, he's coming back, I believe it. Like, if you've ever seen the, the wrestling meme, you know, the whole, you know, it's real to me. That's how it was for me in Dosu. Like, I believe it, I don't care what anybody says. But anyway, what am I trying for you folks? What are we doing? Well, like I said, this is the third review that I'm doing from, boom, Jerusalem Cafe, which is a Middle Eastern grill. First thing I reviewed was a delicious smoothie. Second thing I reviewed was a lamb kebab sandwich. There we go. And now I got my final thing. Boom! It's this. What is it? It is their beef shawarma sandwich, which is grilled thin slices of lightly seasoned beef served in a pita pocket with lettuce, onion, tomato, and tahini sauce. Cost me $7.99. So it was the exact same price as the lamb kebab with essentially the same thing, just switch out the kebab for beef shawarma. Now, I actually did go over there, and I did, what was it? I did a chicken shawarma wrap for a place called Mediterranean. I actually, just at the time I'm doing this, I recently uploaded that one, like literally, I think just last night. So I'm affiliated with some shawarma, and I'll kind of explain it the way it was explained to me, if you're unfamiliar with what shawarma is. So, like, the way it was explained to me, so if this is wrong, it's not on my end. This is how I explain it. If you're familiar with gyro meat, or gyro meat, I pronounce it gyro, I know it's wrong, but, you know, if you've ever had that, the way it was explained to me, shawarma is to gyro what steak is to hamburger. So it's like, basically the gyro kind of thing, but like just, I don't know if it's like a better cut, or it's prepared longer, how it works, but that's how it's explained to me. It's a fancier version of that. Again, if I'm wrong, that's how it was explained. So let's try some shawarma. It looks like, boom, it's a pita, and it's a thing. Can we get like a, kind of like an open face thing a little bit? Ah, okay. Alright, sure, why not? Let's eat us some shawarma. Open. That's instantly so good. The way they season the shawarma, man, it's just, there's nothing else quite like it. Like, I'm a man of the people. I love a gyro. Hardcore, I love a gyro. But, I've got to admit, man, shawarma, the punchiness of that flavor, it is definitely, it's just an elevated experience. I'm not going to say it's better. I would, at any given point in time, go for a gyro. Because I love it. But, sometimes you want some shawarma, and when you want some shawarma, gyro isn't going to cut it. You want that shawarma experience. It is super flavorful, super tender, and then the way it's seasoned, that with the tahini sauce, where the tahini sauce, you get this nice tangy kind of punchiness to it. It's a punch in the face of flavor. And like the lamb kebab was excellent. The lamb kebab sandwich. Remember, this is basically that. Just the only difference is shawarma versus the lamb kebab. As good as the lamb was, and it was very tasty, very flavorful, this is definitely above that in terms of like just the amount of flavor you get per mouthful. It is very, very good. It's nice, it's tender. And it's just really good all around. You get so much flavor from everything going on. You get the nice freshness of the veg. Gives a little texture. And it goes over there. Just like with the lamb sandwich. It breaks it up a little bit. Keeps it from being entirely heavy. I will say, this is heavier than the lamb. For sure. It's just more savory because of the way that it's seasoned. This is definitely a heavier sandwich than that. The veg is having a harder time fighting off against it. But that is really, really good. It's just... And the thing is, like I said, I compared it to gyro stuff, which again, remember, for anyone that gets upset with me, that's how it was described to me. It doesn't taste like gyro meat. Does not taste like gyro meat. I don't want to give that impression. It is definitely just it's a whole other experience. Like, I don't know that I could go over there and say that there's a really proper equivalent in standard Western cuisine. I really don't. Like, as much as I love some beef, I don't know that, like I said, I don't know that we have anything in just typical Western cuisine that is properly equivalent to this. It really is its own experience, and it's something you gotta take part in to fully appreciate it. I can do my best to describe it, what with the adjectives and such and the verbiage and all that, but I'm not gonna do it justice. Certain things I think I can actually do a pretty good job, but when it comes to the unique taste of shawarma, I really just can't. Like, all I can do is just be like, oh, it's really flavorful and it's seasoned well, But there's like this really kind of almost tangy kind of savoriness to it, and it's just this huge explosion of flavor. It is fantastic. Now, like I said, I do have my other spot, Mediterranean, which also does some Middle Eastern food. It's a mix of Middle Eastern and Mediterranean. They do have shawarma available. Their shawarma is very good. It is very good. I love Mediterranean. I think it is a fantastic location. There are certain things that I get there that I would not get anywhere else because they do it so fantastically. But if I'm doing one-to-one with just their shawarma versus Jerusalem Cafe, I have to admit, Jerusalem Cafe I do think has the better shawarma. It's not by leaps and bounds. Not by leaps and bounds, because Mediterranean is still very, very good. Very, very good. I want to keep emphasizing that. But man, when it comes to Jerusalem Cafe, when certain things that they do, they are just peak perfection. And I think Jerusalem Cafe is the first place I ever had shawarma from, if I'm not mistaken. They might have been the one who's described it to me. But man, there is very much this is very much the reason why when I'm out this way, because it's not close to me, it's a little bit out of the way. This is why when I'm out this way, I usually try my best to stop in over there. As long as I didn't get food someplace else. They used to have this one place called Makhan, which is a Central Asian cuisine place, and I loved that place. And I used to go there sometimes too. Now it's gone. So now I really have very little reason. There's a couple other places I could hit up to, but it's super good. 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Obviously and obviously. For me, For me, their beef shawarma is probably my favorite thing that they do there. And that said, that's on top of the fact I've never had anything I dislike there. Their beef shawarma, I really do think is just absolutely phenomenal. It is one of those things that I almost always get when I'm there, in some capacity. Now, if I'm recommending it, though, here's the thing. When I was talking about the chicken kebab wrap, I mentioned the fact that that would be a good, like, intro into Middle Eastern cuisine if you haven't, if you're, working off more of a Western palate. This might be a little bit more adventurous than that. I could see this being something that if you're not familiar to it, if you're not ready for that punch of flavor, it could be a little bit off-putting. But if that's the case, what I would recommend is, start with something a little bit similar, like the lamb kebab, stuff like that. It's going to have certain similar seasonings and everything. Kind of work your way into it. The shawarma, think of that as kind of like the apex. I'm not saying it is in all of Middle Eastern cuisine. I'm just saying in terms of my personal experience. Think of that as kind of your goal. And I think as you sort of, maneuver yourself into it, because it is definitely worth it. And like I said, there's nothing else quite like it. But anyway. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, spend this rest here. Folks, you go over there, have yourselves a truly shawarma-tastic rest of your life, because it's shawarma. It's good, it's wonderful, it's tasty. I like it. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do, can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. You're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. Life is, it's a mixed bag, folks. You know it. I know it. We all know it. It can be a bit much. That's why it's so important when we run into those situations in our lives. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholeness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, the thing I want to do is just enjoy this wonderful breeze. It's beautiful. That is my favorite part in the entire movie of Jet Li's Fearless. A lot of people like Fearless. I like the plot of Fearless. I love the production of Fearless. What I do not like about Fearless, for the most part, are the fight scenes. I feel like they wasted the talent involved in that particular movie. It's just my personal opinion, but my favorite scene in that movie is when Jet Li is going through sort of his personal redemption arc, and he's learning to just kind of enjoy the simple things in life. He's over there, he's out in this field, he's planting stuff, and just this nice breeze comes by, and he just takes a moment to just appreciate that. That's wonderful. It's beautiful. I would tell you to go watch the movie, but I can't do that in good conscience, because I just don't like it very much. Again, beautiful film. Love the story. Acting is very solid. You know what? I don't know. Go watch it if you want. A lot of people like it. I just don't. I wish I did. I don't hate it, though. I don't hate it.